Debt. It can feel like a never-ending cycle of past due bills, high interest rates, and even collection calls. You want a way out, but most companies only deal with certain kinds of debt or offer quick fixes and even dangerous solutions that can destroy your credit and put you right back where you started. At Family Credit Management, we do things differently. First, we'll review your credit report to access who and what you owe. Then, we'll create a repayment plan that's in budget, lowers interest, and eliminates fees. We'll give you a roadmap out of debt once and for all by consolidating all your unsecured debt from all your creditors in our debt management program. You pay us once a month, and we work with your creditors to take care of the rest. For over 20 years, we've been helping clients get back on track to financial independence. Now it's your turn. Get your free quote today.
Hey, good evening. We are back for our last show of the season. It is the holiday season. We're all here. So if you have any questions or anything like that, I've got some great resources for you over the next few minutes that we're going to talk about. Right now, we really are just going to talk about a culmination of everything that we've talked about this season so far. So we've gone over so much as far as dealing with your creditors, with your credit report, budgeting, how to get help, finding those financial resources that are out there too. So we're going to go over just all of that information, but I do want to challenge you that if you do need help, and until we get back, if you feel like you have questions, concerns, anything of that nature, feel free to reach out to a counselor at 800-994-3328 because those counselors are there to help you and they can answer any questions that you may actually have regarding your debt. So, again, we started off early this season just talking about how to make your money work for you and living within your means. We've talked about some great budgeting tips and ideas, and I do want to just remind you that it's never too late to get things back on track. If you feel that you are getting out of control, if you feel things are out of control and you are looking for help, it's just really up to you to take that first step. So that's the first thing you want to remember is that you have the power to get everything under control and you can find the help out there that you need. Remember, there's not going to be some quick and easy, fast, quick way to clear up everything that you're going through. It's going to take time. It's going to take dedication, perseverance, some behavior modification, and just planning. And there are people out there that can help you. So you want to make sure that you are going about it correctly, but you have to make the first step. No one can force you. So a lot of times we think about what is needed in order to make sure that we live a great life and make sure that our finances are together. And of course, we've got our credit report and our credit score that follows us. And then there's some people out there that are saying, well, I really don't understand credit. I don't understand what the score is. And credit, your credit report and your credit score, they are just really there to show people or to show businesses and banks and lenders, to show people you may want to rent from, employers, that you are responsible and you can pay your bills. And so that's why this record was created. It was created to take away from, any types of discrimination that may have been out there because you felt like maybe you didn't have the money for something or you were treated unfairly. So that's why the credit report and the credit score exists, to take that bias out. But of course, we have to do what we need to do to make sure that we stay within those means. And with the credit report, it is just a detailed report of everything that's going on. Now, there's so many different bureaus out there. There's so many different reports that you can actually buy. But just remember, we focus here on the three major credit reporting bureaus, and they are Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And of course, if you were looking for credit right away somewhere in Illinois in the Midwest, we are going to turn to TransUnion first because that's the bureau that is most used in the Midwest. So if you're thinking about getting your credit together and you're going to pull your credit report, it's always a good idea to start with TransUnion. TransUnion has a very detailed report, and you can get your report online by going to their website, transunion.com. Now, We're going to talk about the others too, but if you're looking just to start off, to take a look at what your credit report is, to see how it is, you do want to go to annualcreditreport.com. There's so many different websites that are out there, so many places that are offering, hey, we'll give you your free report, you'll get your free score here. But they usually have something involved. So you have to, apply for some subscription service, or you have to sign up for something, or agree to receive emails from their partners. Well, to avoid all that, the best place that you can go is annualcreditreport.com. And that is one spot that will offer you one bureau, one report from each one of the bureaus, and you pick which one you want to start with. You're going to create a login, set up an account, and you're going to go back to this account more than once. So that's why you want to make sure you know what your login is, and you'll create that account, and you can get a report from either Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian. You get to pick, but I do suggest you start with TransUnion. And again, why? It's the one that we use most here in the Midwest. And one of the key things that you want to look at when reviewing your report, you want to make sure that all the information is accurate, and you want to look for things that are not accurate so that you can dispute them. We'll talk about disputing in a minute too, but right now we're just talking about looking at the reports. So if you start with TransUnion, then I want you to move on to pull your Experian report next. Now, Equifax is typically the bureau where you see people will see more collection accounts than anything. And the reason for that being is that in order for a creditor to report to the credit bureaus, they have to be a member of the credit bureaus. And so a lot of times you'll see all the major banks reporting to all three. But a lot of times you won't see them all reporting to all the bureaus if it's a small mom and pop shop, or if it's a small finance company, small auto lender. Sometimes they'll only report to one, and a lot of times, because of pricing, of course, they pick Equifax. So that's why if you look at that bureau, you may see a lot more collections than what's reporting on the others as well. Now, you want to look at them, look at the reports, look at all the information, and they're broken up into different sections. Each report has a different section. Of course, it's going to start off with your name, your identifying information, and then you'll move on, but make sure everything on there is correct. Sometimes they report your occupation. They could report your old address, your new address. They could even report some of your old phone numbers too. So you want to make sure that you're looking at that information, that is updated, that they have your current information. And anything that does not look right in that area, you can submit a dispute for it and get that adjusted or fixed right away. Now, the next couple of parts on your report, of course, you've got your public records. Anything that is going in through the court system is listed in the public records section of your credit report. So if you file bankruptcy, it'll be there. Anyone putting in a judgment or trying to sue you, it's going to be in the public records. So that way you'll know, honestly, if someone is saying or threatening to sue you, you'll see it on that public records section too, because they will have submitted it through the court system, and then it pops up on your credit report. So keep that in mind. Now, we have some questions over the past few weeks that talked about how long do things stay on that part of your credit report. And if you've got something on public records, a lot of times it will affect your score, and it does do some damage, some serious damage, depending on what it is. Now, when you have someone that has sought legal action against you and taken it through the court system, of course, then that's what's called the decision that the judge makes would be the judgment. And so whatever amount that the judge is saying that you owe, that the creditor is saying that you owe, and the judge says, yes, they do owe it, it's going on your credit report. Now, for the judgments, though, like I said, they do affect your report, and they affect it a lot. The only way for you to clear up a judgment is to pay it. If it is yours, you know it's yours, then you do need to pay that debt to get rid of it. After you do pay it, now, keep this in mind. It's going to take the bureaus 7 years to actually take that account off of your report after You've paid it 7 whole years. That judgment sits on there. That's why we don't even want to let our accounts get to that point. We don't want our collections to fall delinquent. We don't want them, to fall more delinquent. We don't want our accounts to be delinquent in the first place, because once that happens, like I said, if that bad account gets on there and that judgment gets on there, it's going to stay on there indefinitely until you pay it. And then after you pay it, it stays for 7 years from the date that you paid it. That's a long time. So think about that. That account's going to be on there either forever or for a long time. So if you need some help dealing with those creditors out there, if you've got some ruthless collection agencies, you've got some payday lenders that you're having problems dealing with, you can reach out and you can get the help that you need from a counselor at 800-994-3328. Those judgments, they need to be taken seriously, so I do want you to get the help out there that you need. And then your other option, you can seek legal advice as well if you don't know how to deal with something like that. But you need to seek advice, get some help, find someone that can help you with that. So, our next section on the credit report. Now, the next 2 sections, they kind of blend together. They are where our collections are kept and our trades are kept. And a trade is just anything that's reported through the credit bureaus. Okay, so if you've got a credit card, student loan, if you've got mortgage, all of those things are reported through the credit bureaus into the trade section. Now, sometimes the collection agencies, we aren't sure what type of debt it is, and sometimes the creditor will buy them as well. And so if the collection agency buys an account, then of course it's going to go to the trades as well. So we want to make sure we keeping our accounts in good order, because guess what? The credit report is watching everything that we do. And if you don't do it, if you don't pay the collection, if you don't pay the account, it's going to show up and it's going to affect your score. And the important thing is we want to keep our credit score as high as we possibly can. So you might say, well, we've talked about the report, but what does the score have to actually do with it? And nowadays when you go and apply for something, everyone is looking at just the score. Yes, the report is there. It's got all these details. It's got all your information on it, and your listing, your history, everything is there. But the score itself is something completely different. It's based on the information that's on the report, but you want to keep a strong and positive score. Now, credit scores typically range from 350 to 850. And that's with using the FICO scoring model. Now, there's so many different scoring models that a lot of people try and say, okay, what score should I be looking at? What's the best score? Right now, a lot of people look at the FICO model. That's mostly used. And there's other models that are coming up that are being updated. And so you do want to keep that in mind. But when we're thinking about score or credit score, a lot of vendors, a lot of lenders, a lot of finance companies, they're all looking at the FICO score model. So each bureau has its version of the credit score. So TransUnion has its own version of the FICO score and what they're looking at. And they're all based on the same criteria, but they get to pick and choose how they set it up in their own system. So that's why you've got 3 different reports, 3 different scores. And you want to keep your eye on all of them and make sure that information is correct. If something goes wrong, your score will tell that tale, because guess what? If something goes wrong, that score goes down. And you can see it right away. And so you want to keep your eye on it. Looking at the score, monitoring it is a great way to make sure that there's nothing going wrong on your score either. So there's some other credit monitoring devices out there, some tools that you can use. And I want you to reach out to a counselor, 800-994-3328. If you feel like you're not sure how to reach your score or your report, or even if you want to get your score and report, they can do that for you. So take a look at that number, write it down, and over the next couple of weeks, I want you to use that if you've got questions, because it's the best place you can go to get the answers. So again, we're talking about the credit report versus the credit score. With a credit score, you want to keep your score as high as possible. And they said that it all really depends on how much debt you're using and do you pay your bills on time. If you pay your bills on time, you're not going to have any problems. And if you are able to make sure that you're not maxing out your credit card accounts, that you always have your installment accounts reported correctly, you should have a really, really great score. Now, the bureaus want to see that you can use credit, use it responsibly. And so a lot of times we think, okay, I don't want to get too much credit, or I don't want to have my credit ran, or I just don't know how to make things better on my credit. And basically the key to it is just paying your bills on time. Really, and the bills that you have, you want to find out who reports to the credit bureau and who does not. And keep that in mind whenever you set up your plan for whatever you're trying to do, your action plan for the future, your short-term and long-term goals. That's something good for you to know with your creditors. Who reports to the credit bureau and who does not. What account is a credit account and which one isn't. Because there are some people that think that by them making payments on their bank account or letting their deposits go into their bank account is making your score better. And for a long time, this held true that guess what? Your bank account had nothing to do with your actual credit score at all. But now as things change, we did learn that in the future, there is a credit scoring model that will take into account your bank account. So not only do you need to worry about your credit, you also want to keep your banking account, your banking information positive as well, because that's going to help build your financial platform or make you strong as far as whether the creditors feel like they can offer you financing. Last thing you want to do is go apply for something and be turned down, which is why you want to keep your eye on everything right now. So now, as you're going throughout your credit report, we're looking at our score, we're looking at the things that are on our reports, and we're looking at the collection section of our credit report. What happens if we notice something on there? What can we do? First off, you do need to understand that if you have a collection account on your credit report, that means that that account has charged off and the creditor does not feel that they will get payment from you. So that's why they put it on your credit report and charge that account off. And it shows as a delinquent account or a bad debt on your credit report because the creditor does not feel like they're going to get any money from you. That does not mean that you are not responsible for it. That's a common misconception. Once an account charges off, you still need to make good on that debt and pay that account. Now, it does reflect negatively right now, I'm sure, and when things go bad on your report, of course, it drops your score just like that. But over time, if you're consistent and you're able to take care of that account, you're making the payments back up that you missed, you made some arrangements with them, then you can work on reversing all the negative effects that have happened. Because your credit report really, to keep things positive or to keep your score as strong and as healthy as possible, you do need to realize that there may be some things that happen. There may be some negatives that come. But as long as you have enough positives to counteract the negatives on your report, then your score should actually benefit from it. Because guess what? You could have those judgments on there for years and years and years, and the judgments stay on there for years and they're affecting your score, but the score only looks at the last 24 months worth of history. So if you've had a judgment on your credit report for the last 6 years, but you've got new credit card accounts, you've got a new auto loan, you're making those payments, and people can see that you positively have improved since whatever happened, then your score will actually show it. You probably even have a higher score than you think because you've done what you needed to do and you took the steps to actually turn things around. Now, if you're having problems dealing with collection agencies, and a lot of people struggle with that, I do want you to reach out to a counselor, 800-994-3328, and get some help. Now, with the counselors, they can help you deal with your creditors, and they can help you deal with collection agencies. They know the ins and outs of dealing with collection agencies and how to help you get out from under them to see if they're affecting your credit report. If you have a rogue collector that is harassing you and threatening you, it's within your legal right for that not to happen. You can get that harassment to stop. There's some things that you can do. And we just want you to realize that and take control of your finances, because a lot of times those collectors, they use the worst tactics just to try and get some money from you. And we've seen so many people fall victim to scams where they weren't even their debts, but the collector was so mean and nasty over the phone, they've scared someone into paying a bill that wasn't even theirs so that they can make money. So you do want to watch out for that. That is why you do need to get some help. and you can seek help from a counselor that can tell you how to deal with it. They can also help you figure out if the person that is calling you and harassing you is legit as well. Because there have been cases, like I said, of scams where people are being taken advantage of. So we want you to watch out for that and contact the counselor. You can also go online to familycredit.org. And at this beautiful website, you can find more information about how to deal with your creditors. So, again, if you go to familycredit.org, use this as a resource right here, Personal Finance Made Easy. This free course has some great information for you. This book will, you can download it right here. Download the guide now. Or you can contact Family Credit, 800-994-3328. And they will actually mail you a copy. So, there are resources out there that can help you. Now, over the next few weeks, as you are working to get your budget together, keep those things that we've talked about in mind when dealing with your creditors, dealing with collection agencies, trying to set up a plan. And the key is you want to live within your means. So don't promise anything over more than what you can do. Only stay with what you can do. Look at your budget. See how much you can comfortably afford to put towards your goals, towards your saving plan. And towards if you've got any other bad debts, collections, anything like that. You want to be able to allocate certain amounts towards each and every single thing so that you're not overspending and you are being able and better empowered to keep those things together. If you need some help with creating a budget plan, counselors are there to assist you as well. So there's some great things, some great tools that are available, some great ways that they can help you. Again, so reach out, get that course that we talked about, the Personal Finance Made Easy. And in this guide as well, they have how to help you realistically save money, how to manage your bank account properly, and you're going to start with a self-assessment there. So that's one of the tools that we talked about. We also talked about 100 small ways to save big. Now, this guide is pretty cool, pretty handy, and helps you save money too. So there's a lot of tips and ideas that you can use from that guide to help you as you set up your budget. So if you've got any other questions, feel free to use Family Credit as a resource. Again, you can reach them at 800-994-3328. Now, another question that we came in contact with was a lot of people want to know is, should they just give up or file bankruptcy? Technically, I'm not an attorney, and I'm not giving you legal advice, but you do need to seek legal advice and legal help if you feel like that's something for you. So you can contact a counselor and get some information, get some advice. And honestly, if the debt isn't that much, then you may want to look at trying to set up arrangements or payment plans, something to help you along those lines. And that's where you can sit down and look at your budget and see which actually works for you. Because you may think, okay, well, I'll just file bankruptcy and get over with. But bankruptcy is a long, drawn-out process, too. So it's like over that same amount of time, can you work on paying something towards the debts or pay off the debts even? So that's why setting up a plan is a great thing for you to look at doing. And looking at your action plan for next year as you move into the next year is more important right now. Take a look at your credit report, your finances, looking at your budget, and setting up that plan so that you're able to stay on top of your finances over the upcoming year. Make sure that you're able to save each and every single month so that you're not struggling and living paycheck to paycheck. So that's our goals. You want to make your money work for you, because guess what? We work so hard for our money that it's only right that you get the opportunity to enjoy it. And that's what it's about, empowering you to be able to take control of your finances, get the help that you need, and stop struggling. So over the next few weeks, we do hope that you are able to take control of your finances. Watch out for tax season. Make sure you avoid any scams that are out there. Try not to pay more for anything any services that you don't need. So look at those spending leaks, get those out of your budget, and then in a few more weeks, we'll see you back. In the meantime, what I want you to do, again, reach out to a counselor, 800-994-3328, just to get that help that you need. If you've got any other questions, again, please ask a counselor. And we will see you back here again in a few months. Take care.